Oi. Sounds a bit echoey in here.
Good morning, welcome to the velo-ads YouTube channel. Today we have our velo-ads YouTube premiere about to be unleashed on the unsuspecting public. The premiere today is another vlog with my good friend Mike Burrows, and could it be the fastest machine that Mike has ever created? I had a good look around the machine when I was at Mike's the other day, and the body, the shape has been tweaked and designed by a guy, I think his name's Glenn Thompson, who works at South Bank University, so he's been working on the aerodynamics on computers and whatnot, as Mike will explain in the vlog. And Mike has designed all of the gubbins and the bit what goes inside the shell and makes the thing move. I'm meeting Mike in Norwich next week. We're taking the machine down to the airbase, and Mike's going to give it his first test run, and we're going to see how much power we have to put into the machine to achieve decent speed. So very exciting times, really looking forward to this vlog and the next installment, so stay tuned, hope you enjoy it. Be prepared to be amazed. So this is something Mike's been working on at the moment.
Yeah, basically that's the Metro. So that's free composite.
Yes.
And
found on a tube train.
That's a final little wheel cover. I can cut a hole in that for the wheel, and of course the thing is it can be very close and it won't wear the tyre out because it's papier-mâché.
Brilliant. Oh wow, yeah, that's clever.
That'll just add on the bottom, well hopefully. We'll let you know
and what will you be installing that on?
This is what it was moulded on. This is a sort of a...
So this is the body.
That's the back half of the mould, body, right, not mould, that didn't work because it's not thick enough, so we just
Soup Dragon.
I built the Soup Dragon bit up, so that was mould was taken off there. That's where the wheel will stick out. Mm-hmm. Whatever. And of course the hole in the bottom adds a lot of drag, so the smaller it is the better.
Okay, and will there be another record attempt with this one eventually?
Well, there won't be a record attempt because I'm just going to do the riding. I'm not bothered about anyone else, but I really want to see what it does for a given powering. But that was the idea, was for the college to have some numbers. Mm-hmm. And then no numbers at all.
Is this all fiberglass?
No, it's basically glass. The core material is glass, and again, it was too thin, it's distorted. And then there's this extra layer of, that's a Kevlar Dyneema, not Kevlar carbon, actually Kevlar Dyneema or one of the other synthetics, as a sort of wear patch. Now what we're going to do,
just for when you tip it,
when Mike's finished repairing bloody broken bicycle frames, we're going to do that. Doubling up will be the hole inside.
Okay.
So that will be double skin there, plus the little foam ridges, and that should give us enough stiffness and a nice surface finish.
And
that's the mould for the lid.
Okay.
This is the Soup Dragon, which I mentioned already on John's little movie. Cameraman this time is Mr. Pegg, who's not used to this sort of thing, so hope it all works out. This is the chassis. Two 650C wheels, which interestingly are the right size, definitely, because the fairing, which you'll see later, is designed to fit me and my pedals and cranks, which are of course 140, very short. And the 650C wheel is the biggest you can get without needing to make the fairing bigger, so it ties in quite nicely, so there's no mistake on that. It's front wheel drive. I turn it round here, and as you can see, there are no gears. It's single speed. The theory being, if you only want to go at one speed, you only need one gear, which, with any luck, is a correct theory. It could be wrong, but yeah. And the steering, limited. It's not designed for shopping. And again, we'll turn it back round. It's very curious. We're pushing one end of the axle back and forwards, and it pivots at the other end of the axle, which means that the chain length isn't affected by steering and there's no input of torque, but it means there's no geometry, there is no trail, there is no rake. This might or might not be a problem. We will let you know on this one in chapter 2. Cranks, as I say, 140mm, originally designed to allow for a much smaller fairing at that point, which is critical for aerodynamics. But as it turns out, 140mm is almost certainly the right length for the average height person on a bicycle to maximise power output. Again, theory suggests, and my personal experience, as all my cranks are now 140, is that is probably true. And as it starts off, it has landing gear. Again, that's so if you do only have one gear, you certainly can't start quickly, especially when it's as big as this. So landing gear is there, and if you flick the little lever, it will retract up inside the fairing, so no aerodynamic penalties at high speed. Now, if I can get this right, I will demonstrate it going. Now, that's how it's all supposed to work. It doesn't help that we've got this lovely rough texture here. The little wheel isn't kind of that, but that's the theory. Now, we'll now go indoors and you can see the shiny bit that it goes inside, and hope you are impressed. This is the shiny bit that the chassis goes inside. This is the Super Dragon proper. Aerodynamics, I have to say, nothing to do with me. This is the result of Glenn Thompson from London South Bank University, sitting in front of a workstation for many, many long hours, doing lots and lots of number crunching. And what the computer says is, and we know computers are never wrong, is this, when it's going, will be the most aerodynamic functioning object on the planet. To give you an idea of the aerodynamics of this as compared to a bicycle, discussing with my son the need for how shiny the surface actually needs to be, because the book says 400 wet and dry will give you laminar flow, which is obviously what you have to have for the front half. But I was wondering, is it worth going down much finer than 400? Can the laminar flow be better laminar flow? And we got into discussing Brownian motion, which is normally well above my pay grade, I have to say. And I won't bore you with the details of Brownian motion, but the discussion was inconclusive. So basically, I need to keep standing with the wet and dry till it's very shiny. First of all, one thing you need when you're inside see, this will be a screen, which is not molded as yet. Little tiny hole. That's where the air will rush in, hopefully, adequately, but without causing too much drag. But it will then come up inside through this carefully shaped little scoop that expands, and that will demist the screen and hopefully provide enough cooling air for the engine. So there it is, a beautifully streamlined laminar flow optimized shell, and this is that's where that landing gear you saw will hopefully pop in and out, and you'll have a perfect aerodynamics when you go. Now, this is the hole that has to go in through. Now, a small amount of calculation and loss of luck meant it does actually just go in, as you will see. Shoot it down. It's fed in. The idea of having the front in one piece is so we don't have any join lines, which are bad aerodynamically, and also structurally. This, hopefully, the idea of the outer shell bolting to the chassis will stiffen up both. Voila, that is in. Now, the fixing points for this are here, here, and one underneath. So it's not just Shimano, I have special tools. This is my Allen key, right? So this retains the screw in the end and a bit of PVC, and allows me to reach right up inside to that hole there. There's more of those to do, so we won't bother for now because we're not actually going anywhere at the moment, but I'll show you. One problem was getting the chassis into the fairing. The other problem is getting the rider into the machine. And what you need, of course, is known as the Zimmer style bike aid. Right, landing gear down. And this is the first time I've tested this with the Zimmer frame, so this is live on camera. So this project goes back a couple of years, of course, and I'll tell you something, the last time I tried it, it was easier, but then the cameraman assures me it's because I'm getting older and stiffer, and then he would know about things like that himself anyway. I say, you don't go shopping, Christy. Right, that's it. The once you're in, it's quite lovely. Right, now Mr. Pegg, the trusty cameraman, will show his versatility now by putting the lid on and filming it all at the same time. Or not. Take it away, Mr. P. It's complicated by the lid not being trimmed yet and by the Zimmer frame actually being in the way. We'll do the best we can to give you an idea of what it looks like. Slide the Zimmer. Right. Sounds a bit echoey in here. It'll be a lot shinier when it's all done. Have a look up the window from the front, see what I look like from... That's it. Well, hopefully this window is big enough. The last one wasn't. So... Okay, getting a quick close up. Now, that's the end of this episode. The next one, with any luck, will start with this hurtling down the local runway at Scottow Industrial Park at 50 miles an hour or something like that. Goodbye for now.
Cheers!